Hey guys, it's Bill from Linden, Tennessee. Well, I guess my cell phone has officially given up camera or video duties, so I've reverted back to the old digital camera until I figure something else out. But in the meantime, got back out in the garage to work on the Cub. Didn't get anything out last weekend because I didn't do anything last weekend. It was really cold. But what little work that I did do, it was on the Volkswagen here. I had to put new door seals and all kinds of stuff in there. But anyway, so today's mission, after cleaning the garage for half of the day, I wanted to try and figure out where my foot pedals are going to go. I'm going to have I'm going to have a gas pedal on the right, which is a little unconventional for a tractor. Usually you just have a hand throttle that you'd set and forget. But I'm going to have a foot pedal, so it'll be like driving a car. And then on the left side, I'm going to have a brake pedal. In order to do that, I needed to have the steering all the way to the right, locked all the way to the right. And whenever I did that, it went together too far for some reason. It was together too far. Now, I don't think I ever mentioned this last time, but I had on my little steering sprocket here, I'd put these little stops. So this part back here and this part back here bumps up against my little bulkhead right here. So whenever it steers, it literally stops right there. It physically stops. This is just 3/4 by 3/4 flat bar. And when I got to looking at it, this is the one that stops me for my right turn. This was bent back. It was bent back like that. Not a lot, but I guess when I welded it, I had it kind of spot welded good. Made sure it was where it's supposed to be. Went ahead and welded it. And maybe I didn't test fit it and try it again. I don't know. Or I don't know. But whatever. It was bent back, so I had to fix that. And how in the world was I going to do that? Because I needed to cut this off. What I would have liked to have done was just cut this weld off, and just kind of shave this one a little bit. Then I could have bent it back, re-welded that, but that wasn't going to happen because you can't get a grinder in there, no way. So what I ended up having to do is I just cut that old one off completely. There it is. Cut the old one off completely, and just ground that back down flat. Ground all the weld and the old pieces out of there. Ground that back down flat. Cut me off another piece of one of these, and I actually put the 4-jaw chuck on the little lathe and surfaced, just faced off one end of it, and that way it would hold on there square. Put it back up onto the tractor, steered it where it needed to be, put it where it goes, and then it gets kind of tricky because since you're steered all the way to the right, there's nowhere to put a welder. You can't get a welder in there to spot weld it, so you kind of have to put it where it goes and then really, really gently steer it back to where you can get a tack weld in there. Get a good tack weld, put it back, make sure it's where you want it to be, and then take it off and bring it to the bench and weld it fully. And that's what I did, and that's where it's at. So now I'm just going to go ahead and paint it, and we'll get it all back up in there, and it'll be probably ready for me to try this again tomorrow. The other thing that I'm doing is so I've got my locks for my left and the right. I also want to have locks for my articulation, so the right wheel can only go up so high and the left wheel can only go up so high. Because if it goes too far, then things will get all in a twist and things can break and bend and just make a terrible mess. So that's what these are for. These little blocks right here. These are just like 1 1/4 by 1 1/4, I think, just flat bar. And then so I'll have it steered all the way to the right, and I'll lift the back tire up as far as it'll go, and then I can put this where it needs to be, and then this just touches up against the side of my little bar here. And I want to have it out as far as I can because I want it as close to this joint here as possible. I wouldn't want it back here because it'll put too much stress on the actual link. And then so I want it up here, right there. So that's where that is, and that's where it was before I just adjusted all this. So I may end up having to bust this off, get rid of that little tack weld, and try that again tomorrow. But yeah, that's what I'm doing. So I'll have it locked out that way, and then lock left to right. So that'll make sure that nothing breaks, nothing twists too far. Anyway, that is what I've been up to today. So I'm going to continue on with this tomorrow when the paint dries and all that stuff. And then we'll pick this up again. So in the meantime, have a happy new year, and we'll see you next year. Okay, bye. Alright, so this is kind of part 2. I tried to use my phone to do part 2, but it's just not having it. Oh well. So I got quite a lot done today. This is the first, by the way. Happy New Year. Hope everybody made it through. And came out the other side pretty good. It was a just ridiculously nice day today. 70 something. Had all the doors open. I had to even take my long sleeve shirt off. It was a wonderful day to be out in the garage. So, and I got quite a lot done. Quite a lot of work done. The biggest thing I wanted to get done today was try and get my accelerator pedal on and working. Wouldn't really call it a throttle, would you? It's accelerator. So I got my accelerator pedal on and working. I'll show you that here in a minute. But before I did that, like I said before, I needed to make sure that my steering stops were correct. And I wanted to get the articulation stops installed also, just to have it, just to be done with it. And because I needed to figure out what I'm going to do with my foot pads. So, got to have foot pads before you have an accelerator pedal, and you got to have steering turned all the way to the lock before you know where the foot pads go, and all that stuff. So, it's been kind of a busy day of just sitting and look at stuff. So let's first look at the accelerator, the steering and articulation stops. So, there they are. Yep, both of those. They work pretty good. When I'm steered full to the left and have the right tire up, or yeah, there isn't anything to stop it from oversteering. So when I steer it to the right and have the tire up, the steering linkage somehow, for some reason, limits itself, or for how tight you can turn it. Maybe I can on the next video or something, maybe I can try and demonstrate how that works. It's kind of interesting how it works, but yeah. One thing I had to do is I had to clearance this out. So whenever it's turned full to the left and you go and pick up the left rear tire, this hits like really fast, hits really soon. So I had to notch that out there and make me a little thingy there. So that's alright. And then let's see what else. Oh yeah, I figured out where my foot pads go, and basically all I did was I just kind of made an executive, like before they were all sort of stuck out like here, and it kind of looked awful. It was really sharp and pointy, and I just couldn't figure out a way to make that look decent. So I decided I'm just going to cut them off straight-ish, and then so that's what I did. I just kind of executive decided to cut right there, and then with the leftovers, the part that was sticking out here, this edge, I just took that edge, cut it off, and rotated it and put it right there. And there it is. I got to make a little piece right here to fill that gap in, but that's okay. That is not a problem. And yeah. And then over here I went ahead and I cut down the little foot plate from before. And my accelerator lever, this was the brake. This was the brake lever from the other side. It had a pad on this side here. And so I'm probably, if I can, I'm gonna put that pad back on there, and so that'll just be like this. And if I've got the clearance for it. Now the kind of an issue, I don't know if it's an issue, it is kind of an issue, but this is really short. Like my boot sticks out to like here. So yeah. But I went through several iterations in my brain of how to do this, but this is what I came up with, and it works really good. Right now I'll just cut to a scene, or cut to a little video I shot without the skins on. Yeah, so that's how that works. Pretty cool. And I'm thrilled with how this came out, and I'm really happy with how this came out. think this looks really nice. Looks like it's supposed to be there. And what else? I don't know. So tomorrow, I think tomorrow maybe. I think tomorrow I may start working on the brakes. I want to try and simulate this exact thing on the other side. I want to try and do the exact same thing on the other side, so it looks symmetrical. One thing I don't know if I'm going to run into trouble with that little notch that I was talking about is about right here. It may end up interfering with all of this, but I don't know. Looking at it now, it might not. But yeah, that looks really cool. I need to put a stiffer return spring on here. That works, but it's really not good enough. It needs to be much more positive. The absolute down hits right there. It actually hits on this little arm that sticks out that's holding up my foot pads. And as far as an up stop, I don't have a positive up stop, but I could put one. I could probably just maybe put a little plate right here that sticks out just to sort of stop it. Or I could put a stop up by the actual accelerator sensor. So anyway, that is what I've been up to today. It's very productive. Very happy with how it all came out. So until next time, bye. Before we go, I want to do a couple videos. I'm going to try and edit all these together, but with it turned full lock and then doing full articulation both ways, so you can see how it's all twisted up. It looks kind of cool, I think. I don't know. This is about the limit of how high it can go, and I don't have a tape measure with me, but that's about a 2x4 with a 4x4 underneath of it. So is it 1.5 plus 3.5 be 5? So about 5 inches of articulation. And then this is steered full lock. So over here, you see how that's touching, that's fully touching. Now if I try and lift it back up anymore, this actually comes together and touches right there. But I'm okay with it. I don't know if you can see. Yeah, comes together and touches right there. But it mechanically stops right there, so it can't go any further. And that's good. So, and then on the other side, you see how the drive shaft, this is actually pushed all the way in as far as it can go. The first time I tried to do this, it actually bound up right there, so I had to loosen up one of the U-joints back there and slide it back on the shaft. So, alright, so that's how it looks that way. Okay, so here it is, steered full lock to the right with the right rear tire all the way up. Again, you can see it's about 5 inches of travel. Now this is the part that's kind of interesting. This, I guess you'd call this bump steer if this was a road going vehicle. So whenever you're fully turned to the right and the right tire comes up, the little stop here hits and causes it to unsteer, I guess you'd say. But I mean, it's not a big deal, you know, because I don't really plan on, you know, being in this situation very long. Because sitting on that seat like that, it's a little bit scary. It's really tipped over far. So, but yeah, and then on this side, I got my, this shaft is extended out, but there's plenty of travel in there. So that's cool. All right. All right, so this time I was going to try and go full left lock, but what I noticed is, as I was sweeping through there, that hits right there. I don't know what to do about that. That's kind of a thing. That's kind of a thing because I'm not at my full articulation yet, but it hits. So it was hitting on the part that sticks out there, but I already fixed that. But I don't know how to fix the other one. I might need to grind on that bolt a little bit. I don't know, but I'll go ahead and pump this up here. Oh, look at that. That hits. That hits. Why didn't it hit before? Oh, how weird is that? Okay. Okay, so yeah, that's going to be kind of a problem. I think what I'm probably going to end up doing is I'm going to take this little link out, and I don't know if you can see it, but that's where the paint is scraped pretty bad right there. I'm probably going to take this link out and sort of cut like an oval, cut an oval out of there, and just put a flat piece of sheet metal or something in there. It won't be flat, it'll be bent, but just sort of relieve. I'm just going to relieve that, because I can't have that happening, so that's no good. But yeah, that's what I'll do there. I'll make triple check that that link is the correct length, and just notch that out, because I'll never have to adjust this link again. But I'll just notch that out, and that's how I'll fix that. It's the only thing I can think of. And now we're full left turn. And remember how I was saying before, full left turn, there'd be all kinds of interference whenever you tried to fully articulate the left rear on a left turn. But that was before when this was all sticking out all weird. But now it clears perfectly. It's really fabulous. That's great how that clears right there. And this little cutout, it's not quite enough. It does kind of touch a little bit, but not too bad, because it actually hits on the steering stop. And so it's on the steering stop and it's on the articulation stop. And that's how that looks. And then over here, got a couple splines showing for the U-joint, and everything here is all twisted up. The throttle. Heck yeah. Yeah, that looks kind of awesome. Yeah, I like how that looks. So, alright, that's how all that works. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Hey guys, it's Bill from Linden, Tennessee. Well, my cell phone, I believe, has officially given up movie detail. Last video I recorded, it was all jumpy and and if I do happen to ever go over a bump, it turns out the height that it can go is that high, which is pretty doggone high. And I had it twisted up all the way as high as it would go, and I was sitting on it, and it's pretty uncomfortable. It's not a position I'd like to be riding very long. But if I ever did encounter something that was taller than that, the back would say go up over the obstacle. My stop would hit that link, and then that link would in turn twist the whole tractor. I don't ever want to do that, and I hope I never do that. But if it ever comes to it, I would rather bend that link, and it would hopefully be the first thing to break before something else did. Anyway, it's not the best solution, because I don't think that joint would stand for a whole lot of deflection, but maybe it would. I don't know.